exactly do you think the relationship between e-commerce and digital marketing can work?
The major relationship is the E in e-commerce is electronic, and digital itself is powered by electronic as well. So both are technology based service solutions and services, and there is no way you can perform e-commerce without digital transactions or digital infrastructures in play.
The internet actually fluctuates while people are trying to order online with the consumer, the customer, and the e-commerce people. So how exactly do you think this can be cautioned and controlled?
As a digital firm, on a digital marketing firm, essentially what we think of first of all is what we term as the Generation C. So the Generation C are mostly literate, okay, but you do have, in context of the discussion, illiterate, like and when I use illiterate, I use it very carefully, because if you think about how literate someone can get, it's based on your putting in context of education. But we know that a lot of people who still use the internet have the basic knowledge skills in place. They can use the internet to search for important things that they require. So we just target people who are in that Generation C bracket, and this Generation C are usually the content creators online. So no one stops anybody from saying someone can actually be at a level of literacy enough to browse the internet, not necessarily a level that is based on their educational background.
The e-commerce platform is expected to worth about 2.5 trillion naira by 2018. How do you think the digital marketing obviously can help to achieve this?
First of all, the context is that Nigeria is actually the fastest growing globally, and it's been already documented on that. And with that, like you said, opportunities are humongous, both for digital marketing agencies and even for the traditional marketing agencies, in quotes. And one of the major reasons, like you said, is because of the fact that commerce still sits at the center for a lot of businesses, because commerce is essentially how businesses get value for what they produce in terms of services and products. So in the long run, we see more businesses undergoing what we call transformation. They would have to impute in their value chain some level of digital marketing, and marketing being a means to actually penetrate and reach people. So digital because the consumer is now digital, and then marketing because obviously that's how the brands and businesses need to reach people. So like you said, in the future, the market is really big and ripe for a lot of opportunities and even innovation, because once it gets to a particular point where everybody begins to do things the same, the consumer would expect some level of differentiation, which is where usually advertising creativity comes into play. So we don't also see any of that dying down anytime soon. It's just demand and supply. As we go higher and people get used to digital marketing as it is, the digital marketing service as itself has to evolve again to beat expectations, to get the consumer to respond to brands better, and obviously to optimize the brand's e-commerce channels.
The evolution of e-commerce is actually growing fast. Like some companies of e-commerce are actually using drones to deliver. So don't you think it is funny, like probably a drone delivering something on your doorstep and it disappears when you're not home? Do you think this can work in Nigeria?
In societies where the trust level is very high, okay, their e-commerce services are actually very interesting. So people can actually, Amazon for instance will deliver to your door. Your neighbor won't take your stuff. It can be there for months. Okay, you can actually have those deliveries done to places where you might not even be there, but you go there and pick up your things and they are safe. Okay, here in Nigeria it's a different ball game, the trust level. So I do see maybe drones doing some level of, maybe if we really open up our minds to it, but it would just be like there will be a cultural inflection on it. So for instance, there could be a situation where the package is delivered but with the security lock or pin, to ensure that only you who has the password can actually unlock it, or the drone goes and comes back. Those things can happen. And one of the reasons why the drone thing is coming into play is because of the fact of logistics, like I mentioned. So as more humans are removed from the tedious task of logistics to focus on other interesting things, automation can take place. So human error can't actually kick in, for instance, where once a package is meant to be delivered at a particular time, and you know that it's going to be delivered at a particular time, the guy doesn't have to go and eat or sleep or say all this, and the drone just goes in there, drops the package. So yes, it actually could be the future.